Predictability and efficiency are really important in the permitting review process because one of the first things we do when we start a project is set a schedule. Then we decide how we're going to allocate financial resources, our time, schedule contractors and vendors.
We have a number of different things that we have to manage through the build process. Starting with land development, the time to get through that process before we can even start building homes is very hard to predict today because of the various review times that we deal with by jurisdiction. We also have lenders that have expectations, and those lenders expect us to perform in a certain time frame, and being able to have that predictability in knowing when permits are going to come out and what those permit timelines are is very important.
Anytime we run into delays in the permitting process, we then have to reevaluate. Sometimes that means greater costs. It means we might not choose to work in a particular jurisdiction because we know there are difficulties. And all of those things can lead to less choice for the home buyer.
There's a lot of risks that builders assume. One is being able to sign on millions of dollars of first lien debt to be able to build that project. Another component is commodities like lumber going up and down in price over time. The labor market is another challenge that we face based on how much labor is available to be able to build the products. And then supply chain that we're dealing with now at a national level.
We deal with things like interest rates that we can't control. We deal with the availability of building materials. We also deal with construction theft on our job sites. There's so many factors that go into what we do, trying to deliver a predictable product at a predictable price to the consumer. There's a level of effort needed on the jurisdiction side to manage to those timeframes, minimizing the risk for builders or developers that are expecting those permits. Having that outsourcing plan so that when those peaks in permit volumes come, there's a plan in place to send those permits out to another third party to do that work and assist jurisdictions with those volumes. Being able to submit civil drawings at the same time and have that technical review being done concurrently helps us minimize the amount of time that we're in the permit process, and it helps us get to a point of being shovel ready with an excavator on site and building the streets that ultimately need to go in before we can start the first home construction.
Long permitting delays really affect the supply side of housing, and everybody should really be concerned about that because it raises the cost of housing for all, where we believe everybody needs and deserves a place to call home.
There is a lack of housing. More people want housing or need housing than there are homes available for them. Predictable permitting timelines allow us to add to the housing inventory that our region so desperately needs.